All right, guys, thanks for being here tonight on Team Forever Strong's Diamond Push. It is March 2nd, and this is our last call for our training group, guys. Crazy how fast this went by. I can't even believe it. So first, I just wanted to apologize for having no post in the page today. I'm sure that you guys realized and saw that. It was a pretty crazy day today with Kirsten. She woke up with like a fever and the stomach bug, and I didn't want to just throw something into the page that really wasn't going to be, the best quality for you. So I apologize for that. But I will be back at it again tomorrow for you guys so we can finish off the last week strong. All right, so this is the last week. Congratulations to all the coaches who have officially become Diamond coaches. For everybody else, just work as hard as you can and don't let your excuses get in the way. Don't stand in the way of yourself, Go out there and do what needs to be done. You guys can all do this. And so many of you are like literally on the brink of becoming Diamond, all right? So I'm expecting to see a lot more of you guys pop over the last week because everybody knows that we're all deadline driven. So that's usually tends to be when everybody tends to kind of pull it all together is at the end when they know that they have to get it done by a certain date. So I'm excited to be able to see how many more diamonds are going to be up and coming in our page, and for all the new leaders. So stick with it, guys. I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of everyone participating in the team page, with the group, and I'm just excited for you guys. All right, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about duplication and consistency. And so this is going to be really important. So hopefully you guys have your notebooks out so that way you can take some notes down here for some helpful tips. All right, so if you want to have success in this business, you need to be duplicatable. So just ask yourself, if your coaches did what you were doing, would they be successful? So just, honestly ask yourself, if your coaches were doing what you were doing every day, would they be successful coaches? And also ask yourself if what you're doing is duplicatable. Is it something easy that your coaches can now duplicate and bring down to their teams? That's really important. So it's really important as a leader to keep things as simple as possible for yourself and for your team. So doing things like giving scripts to your new coaches when they come on, that they can have and hold on to, so that way when they have new coaches, they can pass on those scripts to them. So it just kind of, goes down the line. Giving them your follow-up messages of things that you said with like exact conversations, your wording, hand it down to them. Plugging them into, the trainings to get them going, the right way. That way, your coaches are going to see you doing these things. And when they bring on new coaches, they're going to do the exact same things you're doing. Basically, guys, whatever is working for you, make sure to share that with your team. So that's what's really important about this business is that, we need to share as much as possible. So if you find something that's working great for you, pass it down to your team. Tell them exactly what it is you're doing. Share as much as possible with your team because you want them to have success and you want to build a successful team. Okay? Your team is going to be replicating everything that you do, like every single little thing. Even if you just have a couple coaches underneath you right now, even if you just have like 2 or even 3 or whatever it is, active coaches below you, they are replicating every single thing that you're doing. So I want to just give this example. For me, the past 4 months, I've been really, really, drilling hard into the team page about how important it is to recruit new active coaches onto your team and to build your team, and that this needs to be something that you do monthly if you want to build a successful business. And so, if you've noticed, the team has literally been blowing up. Everybody now, if you can see, every single week, pretty much almost every day, people are introducing new active coaches into the team page. All right. And it's because I've been really, really trying to teach everyone in my downline that in order to have success and build a successful business, that's one of the key things that you have to do. Like it has to be non-negotiable that you bring them on. And it wasn't like that before in my team page. I really didn't talk about it that much. So it really wasn't happening that much. It was really inconsistent. And it was because I also wasn't talking about the business opportunity every day. So I wasn't sharing that with everybody in the downline because it was something I wasn't doing all the time. But now since that shift, and it's something that I really harp on hard, now everyone else is following in the footsteps. All right, because I want everybody on this team to have success. So you don't need to redo things in this business. You know, that's the beauty of it. Like really, a lot of the things that I still use are things that I got from my upline coach, Liz Harkey from Drop the Cookie. And I've made tweaks and stuff like that down the way. But, you know, those things work. And so you do what works and then you make minor tweaks and changes as you go. But don't worry about recreating things and making things perfect. You know, you need to be teachable too in this business. So you need to be willing to, you know, hear feedback and, you know, use it and apply it in your business. And you also have to be willing to constantly be growing, learning and growing. Because if you're growing, then your business is going to grow. Okay. So basically pick what works for you guys. And what's working for you. You know, when you're having success, what works for you, pick it. Learn from it, learn along the way, and then share everything with your team. Like share as much as possible with your team. All right, another big thing that I want to talk about too, and I've talked a little bit about this too over time, is consistency. That's gonna boil over. Sorry, the pot was gonna, nothing like a late dinner tonight. Yeah, so consistency. This is huge in this business, and I know you've heard me talk about this before, and you've heard other coaches talk about this before, but we talk about it so much because it really is one of the keys to success in this business is consistency. So if you look around, people have already fallen off of this training, right? People have stopped participating in the page. They've stopped showing up on the calls. And they've fallen off, guys, because it's a lack of consistency on their part. That's why they've fallen off. And so chances are, if someone is, you know, not committing and being consistent with a 6-week training, they're most likely not going to go on and create and build a successful business because they're not going to have the vision to stick it out and be consistent for a year, 1 to 2 years. You know what I mean? So give yourself a lot of credit for being here and showing up and being engaged in the team page and being consistent with that because you are going to build a big, successful business with that commitment and that consistency that you are bringing every single day. Trust the process, guys. This is like a big one. You have to trust the process. So I know I always tell everyone, you know, you're looking to build a business, you want to build a successful, thriving business, and I tell you the benchmarks that you need to do because I know what it takes to build a successful business because I've done it in a very short amount of time. So I say Success Club 10, right? Every single month and bring on active coaches every single month and give yourself the long-term vision of 1 year. And you just have to trust me, guys, like you will have something amazing going. So it's just those two things. Like if you can really commit to being consistent with that, like you really will have something amazing going on. Success Club 10, every single month, no matter what, and active coaches every single month. That is the key in being consistent with that. So you just have to trust that. You have to trust that you really will be in a different spot 1 year from today if you are consistent. You're doing those things, you're doing them every day, and then you're hitting those monthly goals. All right? So when I talk about consistency too, I think it's really important for everyone to understand that, you know, consistency, you know, needs to happen no matter what. It needs to happen when things are going good, and it needs to happen when things are tough and when things are a little bit harder because that's just the way that the business is. There's going to be awesome times and so exciting, and then there's going to be like, oh no, you know, like bumps along the road because this is life. So things are not perfect with anything. And so just remember that people are going to come and people are going to go with this business. This is just the way that the business is. It really is just part of it. So, you know, you can't take things personally. You know, when somebody comes on, you know, and you get them on the phone and they tell you about all their life goals and they're so excited, and then you don't hear from them, right? It just happens, or they quit. It's just the way the business is. Some people are just not cut out for this. You know, they're just not cut out for it and they don't have the vision. So you really cannot take it personally because if you start to take it personally, then it's going to start to slow you down. It's going to get you sidetracked. You're going to lose focus on, the vision that you have with this business for you and your own team. And then it's just going to actually stop the momentum, and it's going to get you to go backwards down the mountain. And you don't want to go backwards down the mountain after working so hard for so long to get yourself almost up the mountain. Okay. So I'll just give this example, guys. I brought on 15 active coaches. Okay. For 15 active coaches for the month of January and February. And of those 15 active coaches, 4 of them are actually doing something, and all the rest are either doing nothing or quit already. So it's just the way it is. I don't get upset by it. I don't let it slow me down. And so you can't either. So just keep that in the back of your mind, that this business truly just isn't for everybody. You're going to hear people talk the talk all the time for you. And, to actually have them walk the walk is going to be pretty rare. So don't take it personally. Don't let it slow you down. Keep going no matter what. People will quit. When you guys stay in this long enough, people are actually going to quit on you, but then they're going to come back. I can't tell you how many coaches, even just recently, they stopped like 6 months ago. And then they're like, oh, she's like still doing this, and they're looking at themselves in their life and they're thinking, maybe it just wasn't the right time for me when I quit before, and that's why I stopped, but I'm going to give it a go again. So if you stay in this long enough, guys, you'll see the same thing happen too with your team as it grows. A lot of them will come back over time when the time is, right for them. Okay. So you can't force people to do this. You can't push people along. But it's our job to go out there and find the ones who actually really do want this opportunity and want to build a business. That's our job as coaches, is to find those people. Guys, the people who got me to Diamond Coach are not even here anymore. They're not even coaches anymore. That's how it works, with this. So they're not even here anymore. So it's discouraging, guys, at the beginning when you first become a coach and you have that person quit or stop and you think they're going to be so awesome. But you just got to accept the fact that it's part of the business and that it's nothing personal against you and that they're just not ready. It's just not their thing. They jumped the gun too fast, and you just keep moving forward with your vision for you in this business and what you want it to do for you and your family. And that's all you can do. So last year, guys, I just want to give another example. I like to show statistics and things like that along the way. Last year, guys, I had 16 coaches become Diamond coaches over the course of the year. And to this day, I have only 9 of them are actually Diamond coaches. All right. So people will advance, they won't. It's just all part of it. Some people, it just takes them a little bit longer to see the vision. They just don't have it quite yet, but they're working on it. You can't take it as a reflection on you that you're not doing something right. They'll get there if it's meant for them and if this business is meant for them. And you're just going to be there, for support and to, guide them and lead the way. And then things will happen at their own pace when they're ready for it. Okay. Work with the willing. You got to work with the willing. You can't pull people along in this business. So you can't push them, can't force them. You can't pull them along. And I kind of like to give this example because when I was in my Coach Basics, when I first became a coach, Keith Callahan, he's someone in our upline, he had a training, and I remember him doing a call, and I remember him talking and using this analogy. He was like, it's like this with this business. Guys, I am going to the top of this business, to the top of this no matter what. So I'm going to be driving by, and there's a rope hanging behind me. And you can either grab on and come with me to the top, but I'm not stopping for anyone and pushing anybody along. So when that car comes flying by, guys, with the rope, you have to decide if you're going to hop on or not, because we're going all the way to the top no matter what. Nothing is going to stop us. And that's kind of the way that you need to look at it when you're building your team and you're trying to bring on active coaches or get the ones going, that you're going anyways. You are not stopping. You cannot afford to slow down in this business. So you are going no matter what up this mountain, and there's a rope hanging behind you. And hop on, guys, if you're coming to the top with us, because we're going with or without you. And that's the attitude to the top. That is the attitude that you need to have. And nothing is more exciting, guys, than when you finally have those coaches like that on your team who are so excited to go with you to the top, So it is a really exciting time as you start to build your team and start to bring on those active coaches that are so driven and ambitious to just really just take this to the top of you. All right. But you can't stand behind people and push them up the mountain. It just doesn't work like that. Okay. So match your coach's efforts. You know, this is a big one. Just remember that you got to match your coach's efforts. You know, everybody moves at different speeds and different paces. If your coach is going to walk, you're going to walk with them. If they're going to hit the ground running, you know, you're going to run right beside them the whole way, and, you know, be cheering them on, helping them, and giving them the support they need. So everybody has different speeds, and you're just going to match your coach's efforts, you know. So, and just really just see that, like, see what they're doing, see the pace they're moving at, and then you just have to match like your level to what they're doing. And you know what, guys, you're gonna find the rock stars eventually. Like, they are there, and it really is a numbers game. You know, you're gonna bring on more and more active coaches all the time, and some of them are gonna say they're gonna do all these wonderful things when they have their getting started right call with you. And then they're not going to do anything, and you won't be able to contact them, and some of them will even quit. But then all of a sudden you'll bring on someone, and they'll be like, oh my God, they're like almost a diamond in like a week. Like one of the coaches that I just introduced last night. You know, you just never know, but they are out there, and you just got to find them, and you got to be patient and just trust the process. And that's why it's important to keep bringing on those active coaches every single month, no matter what. Like, it has to be non-negotiable. So you lead your team from the front always. Just lead your team from the front, and ask yourself, like I mentioned at the beginning, if your coaches were doing what you were doing every day, would they build a successful team? Like, this is a really key thing, because it's kind of like self-reflection, you know, like, look at yourself and what you're doing. And if your coaches mimicked that and did all that, would they build a successful team? All right. And that's how you guys should all be thinking, like, every single day with everything you do for this business. When you sit down to work, just think like, all right, like, if my coaches were watching me right now, would this help bring them closer to their goals in this business and have them have success? Or am I just doing busy work right now and just not really being disciplined and focused? I ask that to myself all the time when I work. And, you know, eventually too, guys, I mean, I love all you guys. I love you guys so much, but eventually what I want all of you guys to do is spread your wings and fly from Team Forever Strong and have your own team and be doing your own calls like this. Because believe it or not, it's going to happen. So that's what I want for all my coaches when they come on, is for them to be able to get to that point eventually where their team is so big and is growing at such fast speeds that you don't even need me anymore. And I'm going to miss you guys. But eventually you will be ready, believe it or not, to spread your wings and fly, and you'll be doing your own things like this all the time. And honestly, that's when it becomes really cool, when you start to have your own team like that, and you can start doing the calls and getting them started right, and you can create your own team culture page. And some of you may already have that going right now. So that's what's awesome about it. And then one last thing too is that, you know, everyone needs to be teachable. So, I mean, even me to this day, 20 months in, I'm still learning new things every single day as I go. You know, things are going to come up along the line in your business, and you're going to learn something from it, and you're going to grow from it. But you really do have to be, teachable. And, you know, it's kind of like what Brad Bizjack was mentioning the other week, that if your upline coach is telling you to do something, you know, just do it. Like, if they're having success in the business, do what they are telling you to do. You know, because they want you to have success as well. So, and that's what I mean too about sharing with your team. You know, if you're a super successful coach and you're doing awesome things and what you're doing is working, you pass that down to your team, and you pray to God and cross your fingers that they actually listen and do it. So it's really important to make sure that you do that and just be teachable, constantly be willing to learn and grow in this business. And so I'm pretty much just going to leave you guys with that. There's going to be no call next week because it's going to be a Wednesday night. And I know that so many of you guys are probably going to be scrambling last minute to make sure that you lock in diamonds so you can get a piece of that cash pot prize. So what we're going to do is on Thursday's call, we will, you know, recognize all the new diamonds on the team that have popped. And then we may even have like a separate little call to celebrate all the coaches who became diamond during the 7-week push group. So I'm so proud of you guys, and I'm wicked excited. I'm just going to check the chat here. If anybody has any questions, just let me know here. You can type it in or unmute yourself, whatever it is that you want to do. All right, let me just read through real quick. So funny. I'm just reading the chats. It's so funny. Be patient. Yep. I know. I don't want you guys to go either. But you know what? You don't have, this isn't something like, I don't want you guys to think like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a diamond. It's time to leave the nest. I mean, just as an example, I was in Elizabeth Harkey's team page and I was adding my active coaches to mine and to her page for an entire year. It's different for everyone, but at that point, after a year, you know, because I used her as like, you know, my training wheels and like to learn everything there is about the business and to get comfortable and see how do you even run a team? Like, what is this thing all about, you know? And you make tweaks along the way and then you run your team and you create your own team culture with what you want. But at the 1 year mark, I was like, you know what? Like, it's totally unnecessary now. Like, I don't need to be adding my coaches to her team page anymore. You know, it's time for me to just, this is it, like spread my wings and fly. You know, the team like grew so big, so fast. And, you know, yeah, you get to the point where you're just like, it's been great, but time to leave the nest and do my own thing now. I don't really need you anymore. I feel like I can do it now on my own. Like I don't need anybody else. And so that's kind of like a benchmark to keep in your mind, you know, as you build your team. Yeah, and you'll find a team eventually. I mean, like I said, it's just, you know, you got to ask people every single day. You know, you have to, and I think like that post that Lauren made in the team page the other day was really just spot on. It's like, yeah, you're supposed to be forming and building relationships and looking at people's posts and commenting on what they're, you know, doing and, you know, building relationships. But at some point you have to ask and literally come out and be like, do you want to join my challenge group starting next week on Monday, blah, 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 blah. Or I think you'd be an awesome coach. Do you want to learn more? You know what I mean? Like at some point you have to be willing to just do it. And you will be surprised how many people will be like, yeah, actually, tell me more about it. So active coaches, I mean, if you're talking to people about it every single day, there should not be a day that goes by, guys, that you do not talk about this business opportunity to someone, even if it's just one person. You need to be doing that every single day. And so, you know, if you're not bringing on active coaches, and I see in the team page, you know, people aren't bringing them on, I can guarantee it's because you're not asking people every single day. Like you're just not being consistent with that. So make it part of your daily routine that when you sit down to do your work, that not only are you inviting to your challenge groups, but you're also inviting to this business opportunity and asking at least one person every single day if they want to learn more about this and telling them that you think that they'd make an excellent coach, that kind of thing. I never miss a day with that. I never, ever miss a day. So just keep doing that. And then when do you suggest making your own team page? You know, it's different for everyone. You know, for me at the beginning, when I first became a coach, like I had a team page up in the following week. You don't need to do it that soon. At the time, I created my team page and I just pretty much plugged every single discount coach that I had into my team page. And it was used more for like motivation and like daily inspiration, like tips, things like that. It didn't revolve around coaching at all. Nothing like it is now. That happens over time because it was just all challengers basically. So I would ask them if they wanted to be added to it when they signed up. I told them about my team page and I asked them if they wanted to be added to it. And so that's how that started. But you don't have to do that right off the bat. I know a lot of people are overwhelmed and don't want to do it. So what I tell my coaches now when they come on is that by the time they become a diamond coach on the team, that they go out and create their team name and they create their team page and then they start posting in it every single day. And so you can start doing too, like what I did, you know, where all of your challengers will go into your team page and then obviously your active coaches will go there. And then you'll also add them into your upline coaches team page as well for extra support because they've been doing it longer. So they know the ins and the outs. And that's how I would recommend doing it. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, the truth is too, like with the inviting and stuff like that, I mean, the majority of people either don't respond, they say no, or, you know, they never get back to you, right? So, you know, I always make sure I follow up with people 3 times total before I actually add their name onto my list for next month. And when people say no, I never ever just leave it at no. Because I found through the months of doing this that If people say no, it's because they really just are not sure about something. Like they're kind of confused about something. They don't really know what you're asking them. So when people tell me no, I always come right out and I ask them and say like, yo, if you don't mind me asking, you know, what makes you not interested at the time? Maybe I can help you. Is it a time concern, a financial concern, maybe a motivational concern? You know, let me know and I might be able to help you. And a lot of times people will come out and they'll tell me, I just don't have the time. And then that's when I kind of talk to them and say like, oh, I'm not sure if you knew, but you know, the workouts are only 30 minutes. And if you don't have that, there's even workouts that are 10 minutes. And if you don't even have that, you can get started and we can get your nutrition squared away. And you can start getting your nutrition on track by drinking your shake every day. And I can give you some meal plans and some recipes and you can get that on track. And then when your schedule allows, you can jump in and you can incorporate the fitness piece. So I'll say that if people say they don't have time. If people just say like they don't have motivation, that they've tried everything, nothing works, they can't stick with it, that's when I really talk about how awesome our challenge groups are and the support from them. And I talk about how that is really the key for people reaching their health and fitness goals. And I talk about how, you know, if it weren't for the fact that, you know, I was in one myself when I first started, there's no way I would have lost 35 pounds and gotten where I am today, because you just can't do it alone. But by being surrounded by so many other people working towards the same goal, it's impossible to fail, because there are people in there posting daily motivation every day, and you know, real people talking about their struggles and how they're overcoming them, and that helps you succeed. So I'll talk about that. If people say that they are, you know, they don't have the money, then that is when I will do either one of two things. You know, I will tell them that either they can become a coach and they can work the business like myself part-time, try to earn some money, or I will tell them that if they find a couple of friends that they want to do this with them, that the commission that they can earn will help either offset or completely cover their cost. So I'll tell them, you know, go ahead out and try to see if you can find a couple of friends, you know, that want to actually join the challenge with you. And I'll give them my script that I actually reach out and invite people with. And I'll say, here, this is what I say to people, you know, to try to get people to join me and do it with me on our fitness journey. Go ahead and try it. Ask some friends, ask some family. If you get a couple people that want to do it with you, let me know, and we can sign you guys up all together. I'll get you signed up. We can sign up those people under you, and then the commission that you'll earn will go towards it and reduce it or completely cover it. So I never, ever just leave it at no and be like, oh, okay, thanks, have a great night. Like I always dig deeper and find out why with people. And then it really is like a numbers game. Like I said, you know, it's just the more people that you invite, the more likely you are to get yeses, you know. So, but I have found that, I mean, if you start on day one of the month, you know, if you start on the first day of the month and you're inviting 5 to 10 people every single day, there's no question in my mind, like you will hit Success Club that month. As long as you're doing the follow-ups and then you're continuing to build the relationship. I think that's a big one. You know, it can't just be like, here's the invite, they told me no, like, see you later, I hope you have a good life. I constantly am continuing to build a relationship with these people over time. I constantly check in and talk to them about things going on in their life. And then eventually they're finally ready to become, you know, healthy and fit, and then they contact you. And so that's what's important to remember too, is that, you know, even if they say no, guys, you can't be like, darn it, they said no, like all these no's. You just have to think, hey, these are more seeds that I've planted, and this is awesome, because now there's going to come a time when they do want to become healthy and fit or financially, you know, secure. And my name is going to pop up in their mind, and they're going to know to contact me when that time comes, because they do all come around. So, all right, guys, any other questions before I let you guys head out for the night? No. All right, guys, well, let's push each other along and cheer each other along this next week. You guys got this. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm excited. I can't wait to hear over the next week all of you guys popping and becoming diamonds. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be crazy. And don't forget, too, the retreat that I have planned, too, for diamond coaches. You know, this is a really good incentive to get there. Success Club this month, you have to hit. Success Club next month. And if you're a diamond coach, paid diamond coach. So that could be a good motivator for you guys to kind of go like pedal to the metal. All right, guys. Well, I hope you all have a great night, and I will see you the next time. See you tomorrow night. Bye, everyone.